If you have IBS, you already know this moment. You're in a lecture hall, a meeting, a restaurant, and your gut decides the next 10 minutes are going to be hell. That low, gurgling sound, the cramping that comes from nowhere, the cold sweat, when you realize you have no idea how long this is going to last, and you already need to find a bathroom. I lived that for 10 years. Then I stopped being a patient and became an investigator, and I solved it. By the end of this video, you'll understand the 3-part investigation that changed everything for me. There's one moment in this story, one very specific moment where I realized I had actually solved it. Not a test result, not a doctor telling me I was better. A moment I did not see coming. I'll tell you what it was at the end, because if you are fighting this right now, that moment is the one you are actually working toward. It started the summer before university. Diarrhea, gas, morning spent mapping every bathroom on campus instead of enjoying being 18, planning every meal around what might happen afterwards, turning down invitations because I could not trust my own body. So I did what you are supposed to do. Generalists, specialists, gastroenterologists, endoscopies, colonoscopies, antidiarrheals, antispasmodics, antidepressants, antibiotics, probiotics. Every time, the same result. Everything looks fine. Eventually, the diagnosis came. IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, which, if you have been through this, you know is less of a diagnosis and more of a shrug. I am grateful they ruled out the scary stuff, but what was missing was a plan for actually getting better. It wasn't just the physical symptoms. It was the slow erosion of confidence. Plans canceled, meals dreaded. I stopped expecting to get better. If you're there right now, hear this. That feeling isn't the truth about your situation. It's what happens when you've been fighting without a real plan. Here is what nobody told me in 10 years of appointments, and it is the reason almost every IBS investigation fails before it starts. I was watching an episode of House MD, the doctor who solves impossible cases by asking the questions nobody else thought to ask. And I had this uncomfortable realization. After 10 years of doctors and tests and medications, nobody had ever asked me about my diet in any meaningful way. Nobody asked about my environment. Nobody asked whether heavy courses of antibiotics might have wrecked my gut. Nobody had treated my case like a case. They had treated my symptoms. They had never investigated my cause. So I decided to do it myself, properly, systematically, one variable at a time, not guessing, investigating. Because here's what the research actually shows. The right dietary approach, like low FODMAP, helps 70% of people with IBS. Gut-directed therapies, like hypnotherapy, produce lasting improvement in up to 80%. These aren't edge cases. They are most people with IBS. If that moment resonates with you, if you have ever felt dismissed, this channel was built for you. Subscribe, because we are going to investigate this properly. My investigation had 3 parts. Quick note, what I am about to describe is my personal experience, not a protocol, because your triggers are specific to you. Part 1, diet. I started paying close attention to what I was actually eating. And one of the first things that actually helped wasn't a diet. It was a food diary. Every meal, every symptom, every timestamp, patterns I had missed for years showed up in 2 weeks. That's how I made a discovery that should have been obvious years earlier. I had developed lactose intolerance. Nobody had ever tested for it. Once I removed lactose and cut back on sugar, things improved. But not enough. Part 2. Environment and lifestyle. I started questioning things I had never thought to question. One was the water I was drinking every single day. I switched to bottled. And something shifted within the week. I can't tell you whether it was the chlorine, the mineral content, or something else. I just know my symptoms got quieter the moment I changed that variable. And that's the investigator mindset. You don't need to explain it. You just need to notice it. Then I looked at stress. Not vaguely. I mapped my worst flare weeks against my most stressful weeks. The pattern was obvious. My gut was reading my nervous system like a newsfeed. The bad sleep, the rumination, the pressure. My gut knew before I did. So I started treating sleep and stress the way I treated food, non-negotiable variables. And I started exercising consistently, not because I loved it, because when I skipped a week, my gut told me moderate cardio 4 or 5 times a week, walking on the days I couldn't. The gut-brain connection is real. Movement was one of the most underrated levers I pulled. Part 3, the gut microbiome. This is where I spent the most time. Doctors had ruled out structural disease, so I stopped looking for a single magic fix and started thinking about function. I started thinking of my gut like an ecosystem. You do not fix an ecosystem with one ingredient. You remove what is irritating it and give it time to rebalance. I tried specific probiotic strains, ones with actual clinical evidence, not just marketing. Most did nothing for me. A couple made a real difference. I added vitamin D and L-glutamine for gut lining support, fermented foods, lactose-free kefir, yogurt with live cultures, and the key discipline was this: change one thing at a time. Give each change weeks, not days, to show whether it worked. But none of these 3 parts worked in isolation, and none of them worked until I understood something about the word IBS itself, something that changes how you read every IBS article from that point forward. I'll come back to that. First, here's what happened. Before I started this investigation, I had diarrhea every single day. That was my normal. A few weeks into the rebuild phase, something shifted. I started getting 1 or 2 days a week with no symptoms. After years of 0 good days, it felt like a crack in the wall. Then the good days became 3 or 4 a week, then 5 or 6. The diarrhea went from constant to occasional to rare. And then one day, I realized I had not thought about my gut at all. Not that morning, not the day before. It was just not on my mind. That's the moment, not the dramatic switch I'd been waiting for. The quiet one, the one you don't see coming, until it's already happened. Your gut is just no longer the first thing you think about. You are just normal. I have been there for 5 years now. 5 years of eating out without planning an escape route. Meetings without that cold sweat, just living. And everyone fighting this deserves to get there. Here's the most important thing I learned. IBS is not a diagnosis. It is a label they give you when they have not found the cause yet, which means every article telling you how to treat IBS is treating a label, not a cause. Once I saw that, I stopped chasing generic advice and started investigating my own case. And that is what made solving it possible. The next video answers the question nobody ever properly answered for me. What actually is IBS? Why did every test come back normal? And why, surprisingly, is that good news? That's episode 2. If you want to start your own investigation right now, the full framework is in the IBS roadmap, linked below. Don't give up. Keep investigating.